This is a video to show how to replace the battery in the Polar T31 chest strap for heart rate monitoring. So the one thing that you have to do is take a heat gun and just apply a little bit of heat right here at this area of the strap in order to provide an opening to pry off the cover. And don't need to heat up the whole thing. You don't need to heat it hot. Just need to heat it around medium heat right in this area. Not too much, or else you'll deform the strap. So, all right, let's take a look and get this thing going. You want to pull the strap back as you apply the heat in order to get a little bit of a tension onto the area. Okay, it started to separate right there. Okay, you can see it separating. Keep it stretched back. And you can see how it's coming along. Now you should be able to go down in there and just pry this up. Like that. Lift it up. Gently and slowly lift it until it pulls all the way up. And then off. Okay. Once you do that, you have to work the component off of the pins. You got one pin on this side, one pin on that side. So you're going to have to lift this up a little bit in order to get that off the pin. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then show you after I get done. So what you need to do is make it so that there's a space in here enough to lift the board up off of the pin that's there. That's a retainer pin on both sides. So just start wiggling, get some space worked into the area, and once that space is worked in there, you should be able to lift that up. So you're going to have to do it on both sides. This side. Flex it back. Pulling it back again. So you can do pull it up like that. Okay. And on the other side, flex it back the same way, like that. Work this in there. Okay. Pull that out. Okay. All right, the next step is going to be removing the batteries. One battery, 2032 battery. And you take out these 3 screws, you leave it lay flat. And then after you get the screws out, you'll be very careful because there's a pressure tab that's right underneath here that's loose. That comes loose. So whenever you take it out, you want to keep it up vertical like this as you pull the case apart. That way that tab will stay where it belongs and you won't have to fiddle trying to put it back in. So I'm going to take out those screws right now and then show you that. Okay, the screws are out. And when you pull this back, pull this apart, battery's right there. And see that little pressure plate? That just is held in there by two prongs and 2 little holes there. You got to make sure that that doesn't fall out. That's the reason I'm using the gravity to keep it in place. And when you put the battery back in, make sure you keep that vertical. Battery's out, and this little piece that's in there is also loose, so you got to be careful of that. Okay. Pressure plate's still there. The battery's right there. To line this up. back together, except for putting the screws in. Now we lay it back down and put the screws in it. Okay, now in order to put this back in, you have to get these holes back over top of these pins that are down under here. It was just retainer pins, so what you have to do is take a small tip screwdriver, blunt, and use that to stretch the rubber just a little bit to help you get it in. You have to stretch the rubber on both sides. In order, while you're doing that, notice that I'm squeezing this back to apply some tension on it too. Get a little bit better flex that way. And then once you get it pulled back, this will go back in. The battery side goes on where the P is, and then you just sort of work it in there. It should go down fine. The other end, where you're going to put it down, you have to take the screwdriver and a bit of leverage there on it to get it down. Yeah. Move to one side and the other side. And that way it's all back in where it belongs. Once you get to this point, making sure that the leads are back in where they belong, everything's back in the way it is. There's the battery side, there's the P on that side, the battery side. Next step is just pop this back into place, and that's pretty much it. And it'll snap right down. And all that you got is a little bit of a spot where you pried a little bit there. But what you can do with that is you can put a little bit of Flex Seal on it if you want to do that. Or what you can do too, try doing just a little bit of heat gun and then press down on that as you're doing with the heat gun in order to get that back in. Or what you can do is pull these back together to get them back in, or start rubbing down after the heat gun to press down rubber back into shape. Okay? And that's basically it. Fairly simple to do. If you want to ensure that it stays watertight though, the Flex Seal would probably be your best bet.